I,
Good morning, Harold.
I enjoy the half of your head.
Yeah, very exciting.
It's, you get like half
It's
a
all right.
headache that way?
Well, what?
Do you get like half a headache that way?
A big headache.
No.
That's all right. Nothing to.
Good, good. Hey, Mario.
Hello.
People take it in stride here.
Yeah, that's true. Mario, where's your surfboard? I don't see your surfboard.
I left in the garage.
I hate when that happens.
Where are you?
My house in the front.
In the front?
I have a patio in the front off the dining room.
Oh, yeah, the one that has the fake door?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, okay. It looks different. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I hardly ever sit out here. We put lights in. We didn't have lights before.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, Johnny's here.
The short glass today.
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah. It's okay.
Good evening, guys.
Hi, Johnny.
I'm just eating, that's why I'm not showing my face.
What are you eating? Pork chops?
Pork chops? No, not
Pork
yet.
chops? No, not yet.
Not yet.
Only in Israel.
Yeah. Kosher pork chops. You can get them there, I'm sure.
I'm sure of that, yeah.
Oh,
They call it white meat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Fun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hello,
hello.
George.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Ah, Jorge, ni lo había visto.
Salud.
Salud.
Just the housekeeping. Tomorrow the DAF is at 6:30 because the Tzorba will be at 8 o'clock. Tzorba is 8 p.m.
Okay.
We're on Samech Bays, 62, Amid Aleph. We're dealing with defining borders when somebody sells a piece of property. Matzar lo meitzer echad aruch u meitzer echad kotzer. Yeah, they drop a star that the person's going to sell a piece of land, and he draws the dimensions, but instead of it being a square, it's a rectangle. You can see the picture in the Rashbam. One side is long, one side is short. And so if you see that, Amarav loy kanel keneged hakotzer. You only acquire the rectangle. You don't acquire the whole square. Even if he drew the other sort of boundary, it's just to delineate where this field existed in the larger area. Look at the lower picture in the Rashbam, that maybe he should acquire, you should draw a diagonal from the short end to the corner of the lot, like make a triangle. And instead of taking the rectangle, you take a rectangle with the triangle's area. Shosik Rav. Rav didn't have an answer. However, Moida Rav. Let's say the neighboring fields, one was Ruvain and Shimon, as you can see in the picture. The other is Levi and Yehuda. And they only wrote Ruvain, Shimon, and Levi, and they left out Yehuda. They left Yehuda out. That it clear there you would acquire the way the diagonal divides the triangle, and you acquire all that the field that's delineated by that diagonal. Meitzer Ruvain Mizrach Umayrav. Look at the other picture in the Rashbam. Ruvain is on either side of the field. Umeitzer Shimon Sof of the door. Shimon's on north and south. Sarech lemichtav lei. In order to be able to acquire the whole field, you have to say in the document, Meitzer Ruvain Ruchin train. Ruvain is in the border on both sides. Meitzer Shimon Ruchin train. Because not, you'd only get, you get it divided. You would divide it like in a triangle the way the picture shows. And you only get half of it. Iboilu. Sayim lo sakronismo. Let's say he just showed the corners of a field. Does it mean he's only selling the corners? Maybe it delineates the whole field. What about kamin gamma? A gamma is a Greek letter, almost like a chaf, a line and a line. Mao. Does it mean he's buying the whole field? Or just the amount, just the way it's described? What about Besirugin Mahu? He didn't show the whole border, just parts of it. So on the last three questions, the Gemara answers Teku. Now, Meitzer lo Meitzer Rishon, Meitzer Sheni, Meitzer Shlishi. They draw three sides of the field. But Meitzer Revi lo Meitzer lo, they don't draw the fourth side. They don't close the square. Kana hakol chutz b'Meitzer Revi. The Meitzer itself has, the border has land. And it's separate from the field itself. Maybe it's elevated, right? It's a mound, it's elevated. So what that means is you acquire the whole field, but not the fourth side. Shmuel disagrees. Shmuel Amar afilu Meitzer Revi. He acquires the fourth. And a third opinion, you only get a furrow along the three sides that were delineated, and that's it. Like what you would take if you would plow one furrow length along one side, a furrow length along the other side, a furrow length along the third side. Sarvala Karav. Because if you didn't write the fourth side, Shir is Shire. He's keeping some of the land for himself, not selling. But Ravasi will add, Vishashai b'meitzer shai namik v'kuli. Ravasi was the most stringent, who said that you only sell, when you draw lines like that, only one furrow next to the line. Rav Hilchasa, Kana Kol Chutz B'Meitzer. We paskin like Rav that you acquire the whole field except the elevated or differentiated fourth border. V'lo amaran ela de lo muvla. That this is not sort of swallowed up with other bordering areas that are bordering other fields. Aval mivla. But if it's not separate, if it's swallowed up by the field itself, then you get the whole field, including the Meitzer. And mechilo mivla nami, when it's not swallowed up, lo amaron, ela deika le richva de dikla. We're talking about there was a line of palm trees there. And Havitisha Kabin. It's an area that you could be seeded with 9 kav of seeds. But if it doesn't have palm trees, meaning it's not a large enough piece of land that it would be considered an independent kana, then you acquire it even if you didn't mark it. Comes out michlal, the chimuvla, when this border area is swallowed up by the field, we're medayik, even if it has palm trees. That's the first approach. But Ikedi Amri, other people say that Rava and the Maskana is different. Amar Rava, Hilchasa, Kana Hakova Filametz. You acquire everything, including like Shmuel, like the border. When Lo Amaran El de Mivla. This fourth border is part and parcel of the field. Avalo Mivla Lo Kani. If it's separate, no. If it's swallowed up, we only say it's acquired is delek ale richva de dikla. It doesn't have palm trees, v'lavitisha kabin. It doesn't have a square area. Aval ikale richva de dikla, but if it has trees, vavitisha kabin, it's considered an independent piece of property and lo kana. Michlal comes out from there. The chilo muvla, when it's completely independent and not swallowed up in the field, it's not acquired. Even if it doesn't have trees. And therefore, Shamina mitarvayu lishari de Rava. These two versions of Rava's halacha comes out is besad lo shayir v'lamidi. That the only thing we were discussing is whether the seller is leaving out the fourth border, but he's not withholding in the sale any part of the field itself. That's number one. Shamina nami, dehecha de mivla, when the border area is sort of swallowed up, the lekale richva de dikla, and there are no palm trees, v'lavitisha kabin, and doesn't have enough of an area. So in both cases, kana, in both lashonos of Rava. And then we also learned lo mivla, if it was not swallowed up, ve'ekale richva de dikla, if it was standing independent with palm trees, vavitisha kabin, everyone agreed, lo kana. The areas which were gray was mivla, when it's swallowed up, but ikale, but it had trees. And lo mivla v'lekale. We had itmer lahai gisa, itmer lahai gisa. We have two different versions of Rava. So how do we paskin? Here's an interesting answer. Shuda de dayani. Shuda de dayani means the judges in that Beis Din of that time, they will decide based on their viewing of the case. They'll see what did the seller, what was his kavana, what was the buyer's kavana. So it's not, there's no recipe, it's no cookbook. It's Shuda de Dayani. Amarava. A person has a partnership in a field. And one of the partners wants to sell his share in the field. So the language that you use in the shtar is critical. If he says, Palga de Isli Ba'ara, I'm selling you my half of this land. So he means Palga, right? The piece of land is 100 acres. He's selling 50 acres. He's selling his whole chelik in that karka. But if he used a different phraseology, If he says palga ba'ara de isli, I'm selling you half of the land that I own, then it's only riva. He owns 50%. He's selling half of what he has. So he's selling 25 acres, not 50. I mean, the language is not that clear. So ishtik. Rabba didn't answer. Amr Abaya, Anosavri. Abaya understood by Rabba's silence. Midi ishti kibuli kabla. He accepted Abaya's attack on the halacha, and then he went back on it. But the din is velohi. It's not true. Rabba did not go back, and Chazina nishtarted nafka mibeimar. We saw shtoros that were issued by the Beis Din of Rabba. V'kosev b'hachi haga de isli ba'ara palga. If the language said half of the field, it's 50. But if he said palga ba'ara de isli river, it's only a quarter. V'amar Rabba. Okay, that's where the first part of Rabba ends. We paskin like Rabba, that based on the language he uses, he sells either 50% of it or 25%. Now, the Amar Rabba has another halacha. I'm selling a piece of land, and I drew 3 borders. And regarding the 4th border, I said, Meitzar Ara Demina Palga. This 4th, the border of this land is like dividing half. So what it means is palga. He's only selling half of the field, and he's keeping the part that's next to the gvul, next to the meitzer. But if he said meitzer ar demine psika, then Tisha Kabin, he's only selling 9 kavs in the field. That's the smallest amount of the field that you can sell. He's trying to retain maximum amount of acreage. Abai again goes through the same thing. Well, I don't understand from your language, it's not that clear. And ishtik, Rabba was quiet. Svarmine, Abaya understood Sha'aidiv Palga, that both of those Lashonos meant he's selling half of the field. But Velohi, but it's not correct. I'm on Samach Gimel. It was explained to me by Abaya. Whatever that phraseology, Elaine Mitzar Noha, these are its borders, then Palga, and he meant to sell him half of the field. Lo Amarle Alin Mitzar Noha, if he doesn't use that phrase, then he's selling him the minimum amount, which is Tisha Kabin, and that's all. Okay, very good. So tomorrow, 6:30, Daf Yomi, and tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Tzurban Rabbanim. Good to see everybody.
Shkoyach.